In the middle of the battlefield after an intense battle, a red-haired boy called Tigre is left all alone. Looking at a white-haired girl who is his enemy's leader called Eleonora, he decides to try killing her with his bow and arrow. He shoots 2 arrows at Eleonora, but she cuts them both in half with ease. Since he is out of arrows, she advances towards him confidently and captures him. Tigre is a poor noble and a soldier from the kingdom of Brune, and Eleonora is the leader of the kingdom of Jected's army. Brune had an overwhelmingly powerful army and was sure they would win the battle, but their forces were defeated by a sneak attack from Jected. Tigre wakes up in a palace in the Jected kingdom where he is taken to Eleonora. Eleonora makes Tigre prove his archery skills, but he can't shoot his target with the first 2 arrows. Suddenly, an assassin appears on the roof and shoots at Eleonora, but she destroys his arrow with a spell. As he runs away, Tigre shoots him through the foot from an incredible distance, proving to be a skilled archer once he gets used to a bow. The next day, Eleonora explains to Tigre that she took him as a prisoner because she found his archery skill impressive and found him entertaining. In the battle where Eleonora took Tigre as her prisoner, as soon as her army killed Regnas, the prince of Brune, the rest of the army started fleeing. However, when Tigre tried killing her all by himself, she was impressed and thought it would be a shame to kill him. While Eleonora likes him, Lim, her right-hand woman, is angry at Tigre because he shot her horse in their battle. Eleonora asks Tigre if he wants to serve her, but Tigre refuses because he needs to protect Alsace, the territory he inherited from his father. Staying Eleonora's prisoner, Tigre gets used to life there and fit in with the other people. He even started getting along with Eleonora and she let him call her Ellen. That night, Tigre is told a man from Brune has been captured. It turns out the captured man is Bertrand, a loyal attendant of Tigre. He tells Tigre that Duke Thénardier's army is marching towards Alsace. Hearing this, Tigre instantly confronts Ellen, telling her he needs to leave, but she doesn't let him pass. When she angrily tells him he is foolish for wanting to defend Alsace all by himself, Tigre realizes Ellen is actually giving him a chance. He bows to her and asks her to lend him her troops. Ellen laughs at him, refreshed by his honesty. She tells him she will help him if he gives her Alsace in return. He agrees and they ride to battle together with Ellen's army. Duke Thénardier sent his son Zion to attack because after Jected's army killed the prince of Brune called Regns, the only people fit to rule the kingdom are either him or a noble called Ganelon. He wants to take Alsace before Ganelon can conquer it. Meanwhile in Alsace, a maid close to Tigre called Tita is evacuating Alsace's residents together with the territory's knights. She doesn't evacuate since she cares a lot about Tigre and wants to be there when he comes back. At that moment, Zion's army invades Alsace, rampaging and pillaging everything they see, but Zion is disappointed when he finds out the residents all evacuated already. Seeing Tigre's house, he decides to break into it. Hearing him enter, Tita confronts Zion, bent on protecting her and Tigre's home. Zion pulls out his sword, threatening her and having fun. Suddenly, an arrow shoots through the sky, piercing Zion's arm and making him scream in pain. Tigre rides into town together with Ellen and saves Tita. Realizing she has been protecting his home, Tigre thanks her. Ellen sends some knights to apprehend Zion and leads the others towards Zion's army. Before Tigre leaves, Tita gives him his father's black bow. Ellen and her knights manage to defeat 300 of Zion's soldiers, but the rest regrouped with Zion's army. Zion himself also managed to get away. Knowing the land well, Tigre concludes Zion's army regrouped in the Molesheim Plains. While Lim stays in Alsace and gathers rope from the citizens for her plan, Tigre and Eleonora go attack Zion's main force. Reaching Zion's overwhelming army, Tigre, Ellen, and their army start fighting them. Ellen fights with her sword that can control wind, while Tigre uses his bowmanship and they overwhelm their enemies. Zion brings one of his 2 dragons into the battle, and it starts killing Jected's soldiers. Lim and her troops appear, fighting Zion's army and giving Ellen the chance to face the dragon. Ellen takes out her sword and gathers wind around its tip, chanting a spell and shooting the mass of wind at the dragon. She cuts it in half instantly. When a part of Zion's army advances, Lim's unit retreats, revealing a long rope and tripping the enemy's horses, making them fall. Tigre and Ellen combine their units with Lim's and ambush the rest of Zion's army at their headquarters. Hearing that 2,000 soldiers are coming, Zion starts panicking and orders his troops to retreat, showing how pathetic he is. However, it turns out Tigre's army actually has less than 100 soldiers, but has taken with them 2,000 spare horses to make it seem bigger. When Tigre reaches Zion, Zion gets angry at him for betraying the kingdom by working together with the kingdom of Jected. He proposes a duel and Tigre agrees. Zion fights with on horseback using a lance, while Tigre chooses to fight only with his bow. While Zion mocks him, Tigre fires arrow after arrow at the same spot on Zion's shield. When Zion charges at him, Tigre shoots a single arrow at the same spot on his shield, piercing Zion's arm and making him panic. The two armies keep fighting, but Zion starts escaping on his dragon. Determined not to let Zion get away after everything is done, Tigre hears a female voice coming from the bow and telling him to shoot the dragon. Tigre charges up a powerful magical arrow, while Ellen notices it's her sword that's giving him power. Tigre's arrow flies an incredible distance, killing both Zion and his dragon. As Zion's forces retreat, demoralized by their leader's death, Tigre, Ellen, and their army celebrates. The next day, everything is peaceful in Alsace once again. Ellen departs Dejected's capital Silesia to explain her recent actions to the king. Meanwhile, Duke Thénardier plans to send a group of assassins called the Serash together with another war maiden to attack Tigre and Ellen. In Silesia, Ellen talks to King Victor, a long-haired old man. She tells him she helped Tigre in order to protect the peace in Brune, but the king doesn't accept that explanation. A blonde girl called Sophia steps out, standing up for Ellen and convincing the king she is not a traitor. Later, Ellen meets a blue-haired girl called Ludmila, who confronts her about siding with Tigre. They start arguing, but Sophia appears and stops them. When Ludmila leaves, Sophia tells Ellen that Ludmila has been in contact with Duke Thénardier recently, making her Ellen and Tigre's potential enemy. The next day, Tigre finds that Masha's, one of his loyal attendants, has returned to Alsace. When Tigre tells him he wants to attack Duke Thénardier in order to defend Alsace, Masha supports him. Sometime later, Tigre meets up with Ellen, who tells him that if the territory of Alsace becomes hers, she will have to hand it over to the king of Dejected. Since Ellen and the other 7 war maidens have a great deal of influence over the king of Dejected, Tigre and Ellen will have to win them over in order for Ellen to be permitted to side with Tigre. Just when she says their only potential enemy is the war maiden Ludmila, Ludmila herself barges into the room. She has come to talk to Tigre. While they're on their way to a town called Rodnik, Tigre and Ludmila talk while Ellen and Lim ride behind them. Ludmila admits she is Duke Thénardier's ally and tells Tigre he doesn't stand a chance against him. Suddenly, they notice there is a wire trap in front of them and are forced to stop. Assassins start coming out of the forest and start attacking Tigre with blow-darts, but Ellen and Lim protect him. One of them throws a poisonous snake and Lim gets bitten by it, but Tigre reacts quickly, sucking out the poison. Ludmila summons her magical spear and joins them in fighting the assassins, killing all of them. She goes looking for doctor for Lim, while Ellen and Tigre, carrying the unconscious Lim, ride on to Rodnik. The next day, Lim recovers thanks to the doctor Ludmila found. When Ludmila leaves them, Ellen predicts Ludmila will attack her territory Leitmeritz, so she orders Lim to strengthen their border patrols. Ellen's prediction comes true and Ludmila soon organizes an attack on Leitmeritz, while Duke Thénardier is threatening to attack Alsace again. Ellen gives Tigre the decision to either fight Ludmila right now or focus on defending Alsace. Tigre decides to protect Alsace and sends a messenger to Ludmila, but she ignores him, so his army is forced to engage her. After the first day of war, both sides suffered heavy casualties but remained in a draw. The next day, Lim reports that Ludmila's army retreated to a fortress in the Tigre Mountains, where it's hard to approach them. However, Ellen is determined to win, so she deploys her soldiers, but isn't successful. After that, the war comes to a complete standstill, but Tigre gets an idea. During the next 3 days, he scouts for the best way to the peak of the Tigre Mountains wearing bear skin as a disguise. He comes across Ludmila, but she doesn't recognize him and they end up spending the night together talking around the fire. She tells Tigre her life story. When she was chosen to be a war maiden, she was ready for the responsibility but was forced to work with people she hated. In order to uphold her family's honor, she had to hide her feelings. The next morning after Ludmila leaves, Tigre waits for a while and follows her footsteps, discovering a path to her fortress. Having returned to Ellen and his army, he leads them to the fortress. Ellen runs in and tries destroying the fortress gate with her wind magic but fails. Getting an idea, Tigre uses Ellen's sword to give him strength once again. The sword agrees and gives him magic power, strengthening his arrow and enabling him to destroy the fortress gate with it. With the gate open, Tigre's army storms inside. Coming out, Ludmila faces Ellen personally, and they clash. Ellen uses wind magic while Ludmila uses ice magic and they fight fiercely, but are evenly matched. Suddenly, one of the Serash assassins runs towards them, but Tigre kills him. This incident stops the girls' battle. When Ludmila sees Tigre's archery skills, she realizes Tigre was the man in the bear skin. He asks her to stay neutral and stop fighting against him. Realizing Tigre is a humble man who only wants to protect his country, Ludmila announces she will no longer interfere in the war between Tigre and Thénardier. Meanwhile, Thénardier manages to convince Brume's king to send Roland, Brume's most powerful knight, to fight Tigre, since Tigre is now seen as a rebel against the kingdom of Brune. Hey, thank you for staying all the way till the end. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. It takes only a second, but it means everything to us. Have a great day and see you in the next video.